This caught my attention.
Or more fake news from CNN. Reports that the Trump administration underestimated the Iran war's impact on the Strait of Hormuz. The sooner David Ellison takes over that network, the better.
So why is the defense secretary talking about the media during a press conference about the Iran war? That is not random. I'm veteran New York reporter Derick, and I'll explain why this is part of a much larger story. So the Trump administration is increasingly frustrated about the coverage of the Iran war because while the military campaign has had some success degrading Iran's capabilities, the broader picture is much more complicated.
Tonight, the Pentagon is revealing 200 American troops have been wounded so far in this war.
And we've seen gas prices soaring with the Strait of Hormuz closed. That is not the narrative that this administration wants. So what do you do when you don't like the coverage? You blame the messenger.
It's a fundamentally unserious report.
Enter FCC Chairman Brendan Carr. Now, he recently posted this on X, quoting Trump. He said, broadcasters will lose their licenses if they do not operate in the public interest. That sounds serious, but here's what people don't realize. The FCC does not control the major networks like CBS, NBC, ABC, and Fox. They actually license local stations. So even the FCC on its website says it very clearly, we license only individual broadcast stations, not networks. So when you hear threats about pulling licenses, that's not really how the system works. So what's actually happening here? This is all about pressure. Because even if the FCC can't shut down these networks, they can create regulatory risk for the companies that own the stations. And right now, those companies have a lot on the line because Paramount, the parent company of CBS, is actually in the middle of a major merger. They're trying to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. You saw that headline recently. And they need the Trump administration's approval to make that happen. So when you're in that position, editorial decisions suddenly become a lot more sensitive. There's already been controversy around that. You know, Stephen Colbert recently said that CBS would not allow him to air an interview with Texas State Representative James Tallarico on broadcast because of this threat from Carr that they were going to enforce this equal time rule, even though that rule really has never been enforced. Now, CBS disputes that characterization, but the interview never aired on television. Instead, it aired on YouTube, where it racked up millions of views. Frankly, many more people saw it online than would have saw it live on CBS. But that is the key point here. You don't actually have to pull the license to influence behavior. You just have to create enough uncertainty that companies will adjust on their own. Now, layer on something else. Like I mentioned, these media consolidations that are happening. Paramount is pursuing this major deal to buy Warner Brothers Discovery. Nexstar, the largest owner of local stations, they want to buy one of their biggest rivals, Tegna. And now, if those deals go through, you're looking at fewer independent newsrooms, more centralized control, and less competition. And when competition goes down, prices go up. That means higher cable bills, higher streaming costs, and fewer journalists covering the stories that matter. So when you hear Defense Secretary talking about who should run CNN, that's not just a throwaway comment. That is a signal about influence, about pressure, about control, and about who gets to shape the narrative. I'm Derick. I'll keep following this story, so please subscribe so you don't miss it.